Article 25 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights sets out the right to food. Key elements of this right include the availability and accessibility, as well as the adequacy and sustainability of food to ensure adequate nutrition. FIAN International is a global human rights organization advocating for the right to food. To advance their mission, FIAN International considers various factors affecting food systems. These include agricultural, social, spiritual, legal, and commercial aspects. Peasants, who form the foundation of food systems, are often marginalized. Therefore, FIAN focuses on standing up for their rights, with special attention to women and indigenous communities. At the 55th UN Human Rights Council session, GHRTV had the privilege of gaining valuable insights into FIAN International's work.
Yes, my name is María Suárez Franco, and I am the permanent representative of FIAN International in Geneva. FIAN is an organization working for the right to food, from the seed to the food that becomes you or me.
From what I hear, that is a bottom-up approach to ensuring that everybody gets their right to food fulfilled, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's it. And a human rights approach, which means we are not looking for profit, we are looking for people to be at the center, being agents of change and being able to claim their rights. For states being accountable, they are the duty bearers. They have committed to different international human rights instruments to realize the right to food. And of course, when we speak about human rights, we speak about human dignity and also harmony with the nature. And all of that always focusing on the marginalized and disadvantaged groups, especially those historically marginalized.
Can you tell us what is the position of the activists that work for you and what human rights issues might they be facing?
We stand up for the rights of peasants and other people working in rural areas like fishers, pastoralists, and also for indigenous people. Then we work also for the rights of defenders of the right to food, the right to land, the right to healthy, clean and sustainable environment, and the protection of democracy. We also work for women's rights and gender in a context of intersectionality. Women play a very important place in the food systems because they are those who in many cases take care of the seeds, of the traditional seeds that ensure our biodiversity and nutritional diversity. They contribute to cultivate the food. In many cases, the women are also food vendors, for example. But beyond that, women are also those who care for the right to food of the people in their families. They feed the children and they take care of the families. And more women are also getting involved in policies. So we have a methodology of work which is called the cooking pot, and in this methodology we work together with the women in the field to identify which are their priorities, to hold states and local governments accountable, and then when the women define their strategies, we support them in doing this work from the local to the international.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the Colombian context, about your country? Would you like to highlight some of that?
Yeah, maybe before saying that, it's not me doing the work. There are many, right? But sometimes I am the voice telling the story. I come from Colombia, and I think in Colombia many years ago, in 1991, we got one very progressive constitution, but it has been very difficult to implement all the human rights that we have there. In the moment, we have a government that is willing to change, to implement all what is in the constitution, and to put the emphasis more on the people that have been victims of the war that our country had, to redistribute land, to think on health and social security and work in a different way. But of course, this is not easy. We have had very conservative governments along the time, and now to change is just difficult, sometimes from the administrative point of view, but also because in general in Latin America we have all these organized crime groups that sometimes go together with some transnational companies that are abusing of human rights, and with some government people that are not doing their work as they should. And in these cases, all these very difficult groupings are putting people in danger, including, for example, right to food, right to land, and environmental human rights defenders, as we learned yesterday in the panel that your organization was observing, where one of the human rights defenders from Colombia was very explicit. She for sure knows much better than me how is the situation in there.
Do you have a final message that you want to send out into the world?
Yeah, I would like to say that the issues about the right to food, about peasants' rights and indigenous people's rights are not only about those who are marginalized, who should be at the center, but are about all of us. And when we defend the rights of the rural people, we end up also defending our own right to food, which means also our right to be healthy, to have a healthy planet, and to have more equality and justice in the world.
Thank you so much for the interview.